We're okay here. We got the grill included in here. Okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Ready to go? Testing. We still got the buzz?
Yes.
Testing. Testing. Hi, welcome to today's Western Angler. I'm your host, Fred Boliba. Well, today I'm going to show you how to butterfly fillet your trout, and then we're also going to open grill the trout after we're done. I already have 2 set up that are filleted, butterfly filleted, and they're already cooking on the grill. These are plain, just with the Boliba special blend. That is a mixture of all spices without salt. I have those plain on the grill. I'm going to butterfly fillet these trout, and then I'm going to grill them, and then these that I'm going to grill second, I'm going to put barbecue sauce on them. So I'm going to have 2 plain and 2 barbecue sauce. But the most important thing that I want to show you is every time I do a cooking show for you, it's always at a boat show or at a home and garden show, and I'm always doing salmon, and I always say, well, you can adapt this to trout. Well, today we're doing a location shot. We are actually at Bass Lake, and we are at the Pines Resort, and we caught these trout in yesterday's show that you're going to see later on in the month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to butterfly fillet these trout. I'm going to debone them, and then I'm going to cook them for you on the open grill. Now, this is direct heat, just like your barbecue. So this would be the same method that you would be using on your barbecue if you were going to barbecue these trout. Now, again, I want to tell you that you can adapt this to salmon, but I always say, every time I do a cooking show for you, I always say that you can adapt this method into trout, because I usually am doing a salmon. Well, I want to go ahead and start butterfly filleting these trout, because this is a very, very good method for these trout and for the smaller trout. Now, as you can see, these are a good-sized trout that we caught on in that show when we were trolling at Bass Lake. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that head off, and we're going to debone this the same way, the butterfly filleting technique that I showed you in the salmon. What you're going to do is you cut off that head, and you're going to put that knife right in the back cavity of the trout, and you're going to pull that knife forward, just like that. And then you're going to do it on the other side. We're going to do the forward cuts first on both sides, so that we have cut the rib cage away from the backbone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to cut that rib cage away from the backbone to the tail section. And you can see that we have cut that rib cage away from the backbone throughout the fish. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take your thumb and your first finger, and we're going to put it right where that head was attached, and we're going to take this backbone out. Now, you always see me doing this on the salmon, and you usually just lift up with the salmon, but since this is not as heavy as the salmon is, you're going to have to put that knife blade down and hold that trout down so that you can cut away that backbone. And we're going to discard this. Now, we have taken that backbone off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut away the rib cage. Do it just the same way that I had been showing you on the salmon, except you want to save as much of this meat as possible. So when you get down 2 or 3 strokes on that rib cage, you want to just flip that right on over and cut that away. There's one side of your rib cage. Now we're going to cut the other side off. Start from the front, pass that knife right underneath that rib cage, 2 or 3 strokes, flip that rib cage over, and cut away the bone. Now I'm doing this real quick because I have I'm going to do about 2 more for you, and then I'm going to put this one right now on the grill. There it is. It's already deboned. Your trout ribs are off, both sides, and your backbone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slice this up. We're going to put it down face down on the grill. We're going to put a little bit of barbecue sauce on it. I like to spread it with a fork so that we can get quite a bit on here. Now the first 2 I have on the grill are just with the spices, with no barbecue sauce. You can do it plain as I'm showing you here and lay that right down on the grill. Now while that one is cooking, I'm going to go to the 2 that I've already had started here, and we're going to flip these over. Now remember, you're going to have to watch these very closely because the meat is going to stick to that grill. So you're going to have to turn it over. I always say when you're grilling trout like this or barbecuing, stay close to it. It cooks real easy, It's direct heat. You have no control over the heat, and once you put it on the grill, it's cooking. So you want to stay close to your fish when you're grilling it or barbecuing it, and at least turn it over twice. This is the second time on this grill here, so now I'm going to do the other one, the other trout for the other grill. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the head off first. Remember, these are fresh catch, so if you already have your catch already deheaded, that's okay. Then you just start right where I'm starting now. You open up that cavity of that fish, put that knife blade right down inside, and pull that knife blade forward on both sides. And you just cut your rib cage away from your backbone. Now turn the fish around. Do the same thing to the other side. Now I'm only going to be able to get 2 more on this grill, but what I want to do is I want to complete all of them for you. So as soon as I do get this one done and I do put it on the grill, I'll do it a little bit slower so that you can see the process of butterfly filleting these trout. I'm going a little bit faster because I do want to have these fish cooked at the same time for you. Take that rib cage off, flip it on over, and once it flips over, go ahead and cut that away. And what you're doing is you're cutting away your fatty tissue on the end of your trout here and this bottom fin. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the other side of that rib cage. And the same way. Now I'm going to put some spices on this. And I'm going to take the barbecue sauce and I'm going to put some right on it. We're going to put it meat side down. Now when I do this, I should turn that one trout over that I put down there first, because it's probably ready to be turned over. Take your spatula, take it cross grill, grab a hold of it like a pancake and flip it right on over. Just like that. Okay, now, you notice I didn't put any barbecue sauce on this first flip when I flipped it over skin side. But when I do flip it back over and do the meat side, then I'll put some barbecue sauce on the skin side, because it's not going to absorb into the skin. So you just want the flavoring. You don't want to waste it by flipping it over the first time and having a barbecue sauce on there. You want to flip it over, then put the barbecue sauce, then flip it over one more time, and then it'll have a real good taste to it. Now while these two are cooking here, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to pull that first fillet that I flipped over first on that first grill, and I'm going to put it right on the plate and show you what a real nice serving is. Going to look at your table when these are all cooked. First I'm going to do this one real slow. You cut the head off, you open up that cavity, you put that knife right in there, back of that cavity, and pull it forward. What you're doing here is the same method as doing the salmon. You're cutting that backbone away from the rib cage, from the front, from the back of the fish to the front, and then we're going to do the same thing to the back side. Now I've done 2 recipes for you today. I did the first 2 trout here on the grill that are just plain with the spices on it, and then the second 2 that I did for you is with the barbecue sauce. So you have 2 recipes here that you can do. It just depends on the way your family likes it, if they like the barbecue sauce on or if they like it plain. Then you go ahead and take that backbone right off that trout. Now we're going to take the rib cage out. Cut that rib cage away. Put your knife right underneath that rib cage. Cut it right on down, flip it over. And there we've got another deboned trout, real nice. Now I'm not going to have any room on the grill for these, so I'm just going to lay these here so that you can see how they look. Now we're going to do a great presentation here. We're going to take one of these cooked trout off. Now this is just with your spices only, and this is grilled rainbow trout. You can see what a real nice presentation that is for the table. Real nice. Comes out with a real good dinner just with your salad and your trout. Now You can see that I have one trout for a main meal because that's about the size of an adult serving. If you're going to serve this to kids, you can go ahead and cut that serving in half and serve the kids half and half. Now, I'm going to do this other trout for you because now I've taken that one off the grill. I have room for one more. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut that head off and discard it. I'm going to debone this. Cut that rib cage away from that backbone on both sides of the fish. I'm sorry, on both. Cut that backbone away from the rib cage on both sides of the fish. Turn it around. Do the same thing to the back side. Remember to use this middle, this top fin here, as a guide to run between the head and the tail of the fish, just like you do on the salmon that I've showed you many, many times before. This is just a great opportunity that we came out here this week and did a fishing show for you, and these fish we caught on the lake, which you've probably already seen 2 or 3 times before this cooking demonstration. Now, I've cut this rib cage off. Now I'm going to do, I just cut the backbone off, and now I'm going to do the rib cage on both sides. And then I'm going to take that one that I already have cooking on the grill off, and we'll put these two on with barbecue sauce. Okay, now we're ready to put these on the grill. Let me take this other one off. These two are cooked. Now, I'm going to put this one back on the cutting board. Put some spices on both of them. Put some barbecue sauce on them. Now, the only difference between the method that I've shown you with the salmon that is not the same with the trout is that we aren't going to do the skinning process that we usually skin the salmon with, because these trout, there's hardly any scales on these fish, and you don't really have to skin the trout at all, any of your trout. Now we'll put those face down first on the grill, and we will turn this one over. Oh no, I'm sorry, we'll turn this one over. Whoa, those are real nice fillets. Real nice. Those are real nice fillets. As you can see that they're cooking really good. It's real easy to cook not only on the grill, as this would be electric grill cooking, but you can do the same procedure with your charcoal on your barbecue. The only thing is that you're going to push the coals aside on both sides so that when you have that indirect heat, that it is not going to burn the fish. It's going to take its time to cook. This has the electric grill in it, and it's circulated pretty good. The only thing is that you have to stand by it and you have to turn it every so often so that it will not burn. Again, when you do it with the barbecue sauce, you want to put the barbecue sauce on the meat side and then turn it over and have it cook first. Then turn it over on the skin side without the barbecue sauce, and then when you flip it over again, then you put the barbecue sauce on the skin side, and I will show you that right now. I'll turn this one over. Now we'll put some barbecue sauce on the skin side. Now I'm going to flip this other one over. Now I'm going to add the barbecue sauce to the other side, which is the skin side. You can see how easy you can adapt the filleting, the butterfly filleting technique from the way I was showing you with the salmon into your trout. And this is where I use this method, especially for the trout, because the trout are a thin skin or a thin meat fish, and this is a way of preparing your trout boneless for the kids, or if you have somebody in the family who doesn't like the bones in the fish. Until you've seen this program, this is probably the only time that you've seen a way of how to debone your trout and then prepare it without bones. And these fish were pretty good size, so you can adapt this method even to the smaller 5, 6, 7, 8-inch stream trout, which is the catch for streams now. Now these are pretty good sized trout. It was almost just the same as what I do with the salmon. I had no trouble with it, but you can adapt this method real easy to your small stream trout. And I would recommend doing that, because that way you can serve your family the trout without bones. I've shown you both ways with the cooking with just the spices, and then these 4 are with the barbecue sauce. You can see what a nice presentation that is for your table. Real nice. Really nice. Deboned trout. Your kids will cut this up a little small if you want to serve them one fish for a meal, and they'll be able to pick it up with their fingers. No trouble at all. No trouble. No bones. If you have an adult in your family who doesn't like trout because of the bones, this method is just the way to go. It is fantastic just to do up your trout, debone your trout. Well, I hope you like today's program. I hope you will able. I don't think I have enough. Just leave it on. Now that I've turned it over and put the barbecue sauce on the skin side, I'm going to flip it over, and this will be the last time that I'm going to flip this fish, so it will be able to cook that barbecue sauce and have a real nice taste on that fish. These I just put on, so we'll just keep on there for a couple more minutes. Let them get grilled real good. Great technique when you're out like we are out in the cabin. You're out fishing. Great way to cooking your catch. Fresh. You could do it the same day. Just fantastic way of barbecuing or grilling your trout right where you're catching them. Right, just like we did right here at Bass Lake. Just fantastic meal. You can't beat it. Use both recipes. Use the recipe without the barbecue sauce, just with the spices again. And this is the allspice without salt. And I did the first 2 with just spices, and then these 4 here with the barbecue sauce. How many more minutes we have?
Great.
We have 5 more minutes. Just leave it on. What? Where's the focus? Right here? Get another fish out. Is it looking like we're losing our light? I'll end it. Oh, go ahead. I'll talk. Well, while I'm flipping these over here to put the barbecue sauce on, you're going to get a real nice view of the lake. which is right outside our doorstep here, which is a real nice view in the evening as that sun is sinking there in the west behind the pines. I would like to mention that it is great trout season. I like to mention that it is great trout fishing all year round, as you can see with the catch that I am preparing today. And also in the fall and spring, you have the kokanee salmon run. So that is fantastic, and hopefully we'll be back sometime in September, October for that. And hopefully we'll be able to show you some salmon fishing. Again, I'd like to leave you right here at the Pines Resort in Bass Lake. I hope you try this recipe. Again, this is an adaptation of butterfly filleting instead of your salmon. I have just shown you how to do your trout. This is Fred Boliba. Until next time, wishing you good luck and good fishing to you. Cut. Bon appetit. Let's eat, crew.
Down by the hotel, they got a guy sitting right in the
Yeah.
front of the hotel with a big sign, $10 parking.